What in tarnation? I said I don't pick me up a legacy Tarn. I'm gonna stop doing this voice now. Uh, a, a very popular comics character equals very hard to find toy. Anyway, here's Tarn. And first thing that stand out to me are the triple layered tank tread shoulders, which is quite the look, and the literal Decepticon insignia as your face. That's a bit much, but it makes sense for Tarn. So if you're unfamiliar with the IDW comics, Tarn is the leader of a group called the Decepticon Justice Division. Decepticon Justice. Those words don't sound like they should go together, but basically corrupt cops, or cops if you prefer. And this is the first one that Hasbro has actually made. Because the other ones are Voss, who turns into a sniper rifle, Kaon, who turns into an electric torture chair, and a few other characters I don't actually know. Please, Hasbro, can we get a Voss and a Kaon at some point? Also, there's a bit of a mystery in the comics, IDW, rest in peace, of who Tarn actually is behind the mask. And I'm not going to spoil that. Is it Roller? Is it? You'll have to read them to find out. Yes. I'm very happy I was able to pick this guy up. Very hard to find. His wave mate, much less hard to find. Pretty much any Walmart you go to will have one or two Leo Primes and no Tarns. So let's check him out and see if he's actually good. Obviously, we need a shot of the face. He does have light piping, but it only works if you shine a lamp directly. Where can I? Yep, there you go. Yeah. And normally people say, oh, the eyes look dead, but I think that actually works for Tarn. Because it's, mysterious. Who is he? We don't know. He only lights up his eyes when he wants to. I'm also just bullshitting for the sake of it, but yeah. Light piping is nice. And he's got his iconic double fusion cannon. I don't think it's called that, but he's such a Megatron sycophant, much more than Beast Wars Megatron, that it makes sense that he would name it the double fusion cannon. And he's also got a very clean profile, extremely clean back, unlike his wave mate. Like, I want to bring him, Leo Prime, back up again because I'm loving Legacy at the moment. Like, just the variety of characters we're getting right now. Like, semi-obscure Beast character who was only in Japan to iconic comic book character. iComic. And that's just in the Voyager range. I didn't know how much I needed a gold Decepticon badge, but I love that. That's awesome. And there's bits of purple and gold all over the figure. Little bits of silver. His arms, to me, look a tiny bit stumpy, and I think that's because they're not actually stumpy, but the legs go on for so long that even though the arms are kind of where you expect them to be, they just end up looking stumpy comparatively. You can also pop these guns off and shove them in other 5mm ports, such as, you know, all over his shoulders, his back, under his feet, over here. You've got lots of places to put guns. The very stupid Evo Fusion gimmick is you can plug these two guns together into a booming gun centipede. That's just, yep. And also, I just don't like the look of Tarn with guns in his hands. Doesn't look right. But these guns, I like the pink highlights. I wish they weren't molded in pink translucent plastic and then painted over. I guess it's fine, but we'll see. Articulation-wise, his head is on a ball joint, which can go up that much, but if you want more, he's got transformation joint. You can look down that far. Very nicely ranged ball joint. I saw people on Twitter complaining about his shoulders. And, like, given his shoulders are tank treads, I don't... Maybe it's just me, but I don't really see another way they could have done this. I don't know. Do you want a ball jointed shoulder? Like, he can still move his arm for an iconic, Megatron style pose. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just defending Joe Hasbro when I maybe shouldn't. I don't know. You do get a bicep swivel. You get a beyond 90-degree elbow bend. Remove the cannon for a second. You have 2 ports on his arm, so you can choose where you put the cannon. I prefer it like right here, so it's high enough, but it doesn't get in the way of the shoulder. You also have that joint, mostly for transformation. You also have a backwards elbow, mostly for transformation, because they don't really look good on their own. You do have a wrist hinge and an opening knuckle, which, say it with me, doesn't look very good. Like his whole, like just this moves, which in theory looks natural, but really just doesn't look right to me. Maybe I haven't messed with enough articulated hands. His waist does get slightly hindered by the minuscule backpack, but you can get it out of the way for a full waist twist. His hips are very odd. Mechanically, they work fine, but like they look weird. If you come to the back, like look where it's moving, and when you move it, you can see just the gappiness in it, because the crotch plate, looking for the word, is attached to the hip, so it moves with it, and it can actually impede a tiny bit. It can get stuck. But it's just something about that doesn't look right. But it works. So does the thigh swivel. And he has very deep knee bend. Ready for this? 1 knee, boom, 2 knee. And you can even bend it down like that. He's the only toy I actually know who, when you combine with his foot pose ability, can actually do a proper bow to his Lord Megatron. This is as close to IDW Megatron as I have. It's not bad. And yes, I know about the mining, like the early IDW. Is the IDW the Megatron that's coming out? I know about that one. I don't know if I'm going to pick it up. Speaking of foot posability, he does have a barely there ankle tilt. It kind of works. And you also have a up and down. You can go that far and go that far. So overall posability is good. I enjoy posing him. I don't feel like I'm hindered by any joints besides the ankle tilt. Like everything's solid. The hips can be, I wanted to say tight, but it's like fairly smooth. It almost feels like there's a faux ratchet like right there, like it wants to have a stopping point. It's very good. It's kind of everything you expect nowadays, which feels like it's a detriment, but it's not. So that's the robot mode. Well, I guess we have to get to tank mode. But first, I want to show one of the funniest sort of in-between modes I've found. So the fusion cannon is on this rotating platform, and for tank mode, spoiler, it's going to plug in right here. But you can do this. You can plug it in right now, and this gives me kind of Beast Machines half transformed, sort of like you just move around like this kind of vibes, and I find that hilarious. But we need to transform him and Lord Megatron. Be right back. So to transform this guy, we've already removed the weapon. Parts forming weapons. Oh well. I'm going to start by rotating the arm and rotating that panel and rotating the wrist. We're going to do the same thing on the other side, and then we'll leave the arms for now. Untab his backpack, rotate it around, fold it down without tabbing it in, and rotate these guns up, which gives you room to fold the head in. Now come to the chest panel, fold that up. At the same time, take these and slide them out and rotate them down while moving the chest panel in place. Now you can plug this back into place. So we're going to rotate the arm down, and the hole on the bicep is going to tab in to that right there. And at the same time, it's going to sort of collapse. And it's actually, we're going to come to the legs, fold the feet in, going to pop that joint. When you're going back into robot mode, yeah, just click and go back. And then just leave them right here for now. And we're going to plug them in. Now we can plug the arm into the leg. Take this piece of tank tread, open it up, rotate down all the way, and fold that there. We're going to do the same thing on the other arm. So plug it in there, open, fold, and it might separate. There you go. Now, these panels also tab in to slots on the legs. And the feet tab into right there. I'm just going to sort of collapse it, straighten it out, and we'll bring in the fusion cannon, tab it back in, and there you have Tarn in his vehicle form, which is a tank. Tank in the sense that it's a massive tracks with a huge weapon on top? Yes. Is it very Cybertronian and questionable? Also, yes. Uh, Things that bug me. Visible hands. They're just right there. And it very much is just Tarn doing a yoga pose. Just folding his legs over his back. I do like the silver that gets revealed in this mode along the tank treads. That's a nice trick. And I guess the chest plate does a good enough job as being the front of the tank. I wouldn't necessarily call it a cow catcher, but I don't know what. I guess it functions to get over rocks and things like a regular tank does. And there's a lot of visible robot underneath, but it's not nearly as bad as Skullgrin. And I actually like Skullgrin. And for comparison, this is an odd comparison, even by my standards. And a lion compared with a tank. So here is properly with Lord Megatron. Which is, it's amusing that he possibly chose to parrot his alt mode off Megatron, who at one point in the IDW comics becomes an Autobot. What an odd time. Anyway. Gimmicks. You do have tank articulation. That's what I'm going to call it. These have that much range, and you can swivel the turret. You can't really put it up and down without it popping off. It's not the strongest connection, but you do have tons of other options for weapon storage. You can plug something in there, plug it in there, plug them in there, plug them in on top of it, plug it in, plug it in, right there. And you got 2 ports here, 2 ports here. So you can fit this guy with a ton of weapons. But the question is this toy good? Yes? I'm not, I have a hard time recommending it. Because he's so hard to find, he's so popular that he got snatched up like that. He is theoretically getting a packaging refresh at some point. Here's looking at Cosmos's packaging refresh. So maybe he'll get re-released. But if leaks are to be believed, he is getting remolded into Bludgeon, which honestly, I don't know if I'll get Bludgeon because I like Bludgeon. He's a cool character. I like Tarn. But I'm not super thrilled on this toy enough to buy it again. It's just, I like it, it's good, but that the scarcity makes it a hard recommendation. If you're looking at, say, other companies to get Tarn, there's a Micromaster, no, not Micromaster, Mastermind Creations. Was it Couture? I think that might be. Who has a removable mask gimmick and is a very good alternative from what I've heard. But he is like 200. He's a masterpiece or third party version of Tarn. I've never bought third party. There's also that other set of Decepticon Justice Division that combine into Tarn. Why would they want to combine into their boss? And then that company put out a repaint of that set all in Tarn colors. So it's like, why? I don't know. I do know that this is a decent toy, decent modern toy, which makes it a lot better toy than old toys. I'm being that. It's a good toy. I just I really don't know if you want to go out and look for it. Oh, that's his copyrights are on his kneecaps. That's hilarious. Thanks for watching. You thought I was gonna get away without one. Uh, sometimes that's how it falls. Unfortunately, there aren't any rolling wheels, so you can't just show you. There's molded in wheels to pretend like you're. But also, the Mastermind Creations one doesn't have real wheels either. So apparently, Tarn is not allowed to roll anywhere. He's Cybertronian. Maybe he just hovers. Who knows? I don't regret my purchase. I'm happy I found him at retail. So until next time, wave at them, Tarn. Bye bye. Keep it weird. Bye.